Good afternoon and welcome to Follow Everton. I'm Ryan, the channel founder, and I'm going to be reacting to the news of Everton's fixtures, which have just been announced this morning, including Everton's final opponent at Goodison Park. So, without further ado, welcome to the channel, and make sure you are subscribed and like the video and all that jazz. Let's have a look at the fixtures then. Everton open the season at home, as we normally do, not this time against our newly promoted team, but against Brighton. Now, the August fixtures are Brighton at home and then Spurs away. And I think that's quite a tricky start. I don't think that's the most palpable start that we could have asked for. But, you can't argue with a home game to start the season. But then you're looking at that and you're thinking Brighton have got a new manager. He's going to want to hit the ground running. Or is that a blessing that perhaps he won't be quite up to the speed of the Premier League in terms of he'll have never managed a Premier League game before. And hopefully Everton will have the experience to get over the line. Coming into September, then we have our traditional September away game at Aston Villa, where we normally lose. And we also play Leicester away and Crystal Palace at home. October, we then play Newcastle. These fixtures are tricky, aren't they? Then Ipswich Town away. So there's no nice, easy games in there, really, apart from you could say you wouldn't mind playing Bournemouth at home and Palace at home early. There's not a lot of nice, easy fixtures in there. Newcastle, Ipswich, and Fulham at home. And then into November, you've got Southampton away. So we're playing them away first. So you kind of want these sort of, they're going to be relegation fodder. You want them early. You want them at home. You want them on their bad run. But we're playing them right at the end. West Ham away, Brentford at home, Man United away. And then December, this is the month of death. Starts off okay with Wolves at home on the 3rd, subject to change. But then we have the Merseyside derby, followed by Arsenal, then Chelsea, and then Man City on Boxing Day away from home. Now, that is that is a very difficult group of fixtures in there. And then we play Nottingham Forest 3 days after City away. I wonder whether we will see any of these fixtures moved. That Forest game, are we going to rest players away at Man City? It's going to be very congested. It'd be interesting to see if they're in Europe, etc., and other competitions, whether some of these fixtures get moved around. January, Bournemouth away, Aston Villa at home, Spurs at home, and Brighton away. Again, there's nothing easy here. February, Leicester at home, Palace away, Man United at home, Brentford away. Into March, only 2 games scheduled for March. Wolves away and West Ham at home. And then April, towards the end of the season, you've got the Merseyside derby at Anfield, traditionally in April again, followed by Arsenal at home. Why did they give us those 2 nasty games? And then Forest away, and then City and Chelsea. I mean, it's like a carbon copy of the December. December and April are Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea, and Liverpool. You can't tell me this is random. There's the 4 same bloody fixtures. And then May, we've got Ipswich Town at home. You'd imagine, I'm making assumptions here. They're already going to be relegated, in my opinion. Fulham away. And then we've got Southampton at home, which is the last game at Goodison for the season. And Newcastle United away. You don't really want to be going to Newcastle United to try and win anything on the last game of the season. But I look at these fixtures. I think it's not an ideal start, but you're pleased you're at home. December looks horrendous in terms of playing 4 very difficult games in a row. We don't know how good, but this is all based on assumptions of last season. Liverpool could stink the place out this season. Ipswich could surprise everyone. Chelsea could become incredible. Man City might get complacent. We don't quite know what we're going to see. We're making a lot of assumptions, but based on last season and based on the knowledge we've got at the moment, December and April look horrible, and a lot of the games we want to play maybe a bit earlier, get some points on the board, are actually fairly late into the season. Certainly that Ipswich Town at home, Southampton at home, you feel like those games probably won't have much relevance. But I'm backing us. I'm hoping we're not going for kind of the same mentality of let's just try and get safe and see where we end up. I want to see us fighting for top half finish this season and an outside chance for Europe. And I really hope we can do that. I'm not really thinking, oh, we're going to need to beat Fulham away and Ipswich Town at home to stay up, relegation rival, blah, 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 blah. I think we've had our 3 years of relegation battles, and I think Everton are now going to step up next season, providing we don't lose a load of players, which I'll come on to in a moment. And I think we'll be more than fine. The big news, obviously, which is going to be standing out here, is that the Southampton game on the 18th of May, subject to change, is the final game at Goodison Park in Everton's long-standing history since, well over 100 years. Obviously, we played at Anfield first and then Goodison Park, but you're talking a very, very long time. And Southampton, you know, if we're looking at this in terms of the footballing fixture, I'd expect them to well be relegated. I'll expect us to well be safe. The game, you kind of want to play Southampton earlier on. But then at the same time, I think it's quite nice that you've got a nice winnable fixture there, in theory, towards the end of the season to send Everton off. You could argue it would be nice to play a Man United or an Aston Villa or Wolves, a team that's a really classic team that's been going a long time in terms of the top division and history, founding member of the football leagues in Wolves. Aston Villa, big club like Everton, got a lot of history. It'd be arguably to play nice. You wouldn't want to play a Man U or a Liverpool or an Arsenal, like a game where it's going to be really, really difficult. Although you could see us winning because of the emotional side of it. But I think it's nice to have a game that Everton can win. No drama. Everton actually asked for this game to be brought forward a week so that they played at home the week before the season finishes. And I think that's nice because if it was the last game of the season, there'd be a lot of distraction. I think this will inevitably end up on the Friday night or the Monday or just televised. And what I'd like to see Everton do is have a bit of a party there, providing we're safe, providing we're, it's not a miserable season. Let's see. I wonder what Sky will do, whether they'll get a load of ex-Everton players as pundits in and some of the big names from the past, Peter Reid, for example, and just have a large collection of Everton ex-players and make a big celebration for Goodison Park and the history of Goodison. I'd expect some sort of documentaries and things going up, and it will be a very long show anyway. But can they get in some big hitters and make a big thing of it? Possibly Monday Night Football then, and get loads of Everton legends and ex-players in to provide analysis and talk about their memories of Goodison. And I think that's what I would do for that. And on the pitch, I hope really that Everton have got something in mind to so that Goodison Park gets the send-off that it deserves. But yeah, that's Southampton at home and then ending the season away at Newcastle. What do you think of these fixtures then, guys? There's a couple of things that stand out, and as Jesse is commenting here, we seem to play Man City on Boxing Day all the time. That's a theme. We seem to play Liverpool away second, and in April quite a lot. We seem to play Villa away in September. But the thing that stands out most is the fact Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Man City and Nottingham bloody Forest. It's the same fixtures in December as it is in April. You can't tell me. You cannot tell me. What? What? I'm going to make a note of this. They're identical. Something fishy going on there. Matthew saying every game in the Premier League. I agree, Matthew. There's no easy games, and we don't know what Ipswich are going to present. We don't know what Leicester are going to present, and we don't know what Southampton are going to present. Jesse saying it's cut and paste. So that's it. That's the fixtures for next season. Good afternoon to Richo, one of our BIP members. This is a nice opportunity now. If you haven't already subscribed, to hit the subscribe button below, somewhere around here, and make sure you like the video. And if you do want to support us and go an extra mile, as Richo65 has done, there should be a button, depending on what device you're on, which says join, and on there for either 99p a month or $2.99 a month, depending on what you want to donate to the channel. You'll get some fancy things like badges and And I hate I can't live stream at the same time as having a phone there pinging away. You can join, and the money goes in to support the running costs for the channel and all the little things that we need to do. So please join if you can, and you love Follow Everton. Of course, ahead of the new season, always on the lookout for new contributors. If you think you could sit here with myself, with another member, or on your own and talk about the Blues, and you've got a good camera, some decent lighting, and a computer that works with an internet connection that works, I'm listening and all ears. If you'd like to get involved, you can message us on Twitter at Follow Everton. Okay, the other news today, there isn't a lot going around. Manchester United have threatened to walk away from the deal to sign Jared Branthwaite. Off your pot, Man U. Apparently, they are not willing to meet Everton's 70 to 80 million pound asking price and are going to start looking at other targets. I think Man United are trying to put pressure on Everton, get the player's head turned and get him on the cheap, knowing apparently that Everton need to sell. I've also heard Everton don't need to sell. Not sure quite what to believe. But Everton really, you'd hope we're not forced to sell this player. He's going to be the mainstay of any central defensive partnership for 10 to 15 years, and to sell him for on the cheap would be absolutely scandalous. So I hope Everton stand firm. Amadou Onana is one that keeps getting linked away with a move. Mason Holgate, Michael Keane, Neil Maupay, Ben Godfrey, Nathan Patterson are the five that I'd like fringe players like to see Everton move on to reinvest. But no links for any of them. But, Onana talked about he had the most duels won in the Belgium-Slovakia game, although they did lose. So I don't know how well he put himself in the shop window. But when you're away on international duty, you actually can't deal with agents, I believe. I think there's some sort of rules in place. Just looking at some other news then. The Dan Friedkin purchase of Everton is going to be announced very soon. Not the actual formalities. It will have to go through Premier League regulations, but the exclusivity and the fact that he is going to buy the club is going to be announced shortly. A lot of good positive things said about this guy from his business and commercial acumen, and also what he's trying to do at Roma. Apparently, he's given Cannes the biggest budget in the fourth division of the French league to try and get them up the league quickly. So I think it could be very exciting times for Everton, and the talk is that once the takeover is done, he's going to turn his attention to transfers. Everton are also chasing, apparently, Alex Robertson, who's a Man City youth product. Just back on the Dad Friedkin thing and talking about his son, who's a Chelsea fan who could be quite involved in running Everton. Want the best people for the job, not jobs for the boys. And sports, Pete O. This is Pete O'Rourke is saying Everton have agreed a deal in the region of £10 million to sign Aston Villa midfielder. Really? Tim Oregbunam. Who the heck is this? Tim Oregbunam. Timothy Emeka Oregbunam, born 30th of June 2003. Bloody hell. Is an English footballer who plays as a midfielder for Aston Villa. He's made 12 appearances for Villa. 9 last season. It must be blocked. His pathway must be blocked because Aston Villa in the Champions League. He's looking to get a move. He was signed. He's been on loan at Queen's Park Rangers. He came through the Aston Villa Youth Academy. He's an England under-20 international. I know nothing about this bloke. I never even heard of him before then, so you'll have to forgive me. He's got 81 potential on FIFA. Plays CDM. He's a 6-foot central defensive midfielder. Does anyone know anything about this guy? It's like people make this up. 10 million quid? Where are we getting 10 million quid from? This is an exclusive, apparently, on Football Insider. Everton have agreed a deal to sign Aston Villa. Sources have told is joining permanently, adding 2 options in central midfield. Everton have had a bid accepted. The fee will be in the region of 10 million as Villa look to raise cash to meet profit and sustainability rules. You're kidding me. The irony. He's highly rated, but he struggled for game time. He turned up 15 times for the senior time, just 288 minutes. He featured in a 4-0 away win in the Conference League. Villa sold homegrown stars Aaron Ramsey and Jaden. Did they sell Aaron Ramsey? To comply with PSR. I mean, this just sums up how corrupt and stupid the whole situation is. They sold Ramsey to Burnley. August last year. I missed that. Right. Okay. That's something. Football Insider is usually a load of bollocks, so I'm going to take that with a pinch of salt. I'm just going to quickly run through the comments. Please smash that like button for me, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. That would be lovely. We are approaching 2,750 subscribers. Let's try and get to that benchmark. I know 60 to 70% of people who watch Follow Everton aren't subscribed. Why? But you come back and watch it again. Just subscribe. It takes 2 seconds. It's free. Calling on you Blues. Come on, you Blues. Don't think they'll be for sale since expected takeover in the mud. If Everton sell Branthwaite and Onana, where do you see us finishing? It depends how well we replace them. If you replace them like for like with players of equal ilk, which is not going to happen, then I think Everton will finish around between 10th place around 9th place. I'd say mid-table, between 8th and 12th, between 8th and 13th, anywhere between then. If you keep those 2 players or you replace them like for like, if we were to sell them and not replace them, and Michael Keane is coming in at centre back, and this kid from Villa is playing centre mid or someone else, I think we're going to drop a few places quite comfortably. Might be 15th or 16th. Branthwaite has made such a big difference. Onana is such a good defensive midfielder. If you allow him to do his job and get good fullbacks around him, which Everton haven't got, and good wingers who can beat players 1v1, get the ball in the box, get on the end of crosses, score and finish and make things happen, then you don't scrutinize Onana as much. It's only because you lack creativity, you lack impetus from the wings and fullback that you scrutinize Onana and expect him to be something that he's not. I don't think he's going to be that box-to-box goal scorer. I think he just mops up, keeps the play moving, and you give it to other players. But we're going to struggle if we sold those 2 without improving. We absolutely need a first-choice specialist right back. So an improvement on Jack Harrison on the right wing, although I'm not against him signing as a squad player on loan again. And possibly a number 10 who can also play in the other positions around that front line. But my priority is right back because you're chopping and changing. You haven't quite got the balance with any of them. Patterson, defensively, Dyche isn't sure. Godfrey, offensively, I'm not sure. Coleman, I'm not sure. Ashley Young, I'm definitely sure he's not good enough. I'd like to see the investment in a right back and by moving some fringe players away, but I'm not sure we'll see that. And right wing. And I think they're my priorities. Whilst I would like an attacking left back and another option on the left who's different to McNeil, I'm looking at my priorities and I'm thinking if I only had this much money, I'd buy a right back and a right midfielder and possibly a number 10 who can play across the front. And I think Everton, and then if they kept the rest of the group, I can see us easily in mid-table pushing towards Europa League. I really do. With this manager and this group, they're only going to get better. But you need to supplement them with someone who can score on that right, someone who can score in that number 10 and create and make things happen, and a right back who can actually bomb on past someone. Because I think what Jack Harrison was guilty of a lot of the time last season was that he had 2 players to beat in front of him. He never had that overlapping run. He never had a natural support on the right. He was uncomfortable cutting inside and allowing someone to bomb on because there just wasn't that option. So there are little things there that Dyche can do, and let's see what happens in the market. There are options, as people are talking. Peter Duggan saying Wilfred Ndidi is available on a free. It would be interesting if we can really utilize that free transfer market and bring some players in. But you have to remember, free doesn't mean free. You have big agents fees normally when it's free, and the signing on fee for the players. And that's all from me today, then, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll be back very soon. And make sure you like and subscribe. I'm Ryan, the channel founder, but there's plenty of us on here. You'll see some content coming from some others soon. All the best. Thank you.